Hi guys, welcome back to Iconic, the podcast with myself, Lynda Stretton. I am a transformational healer, a new paradigm business coach to female leaders, and a marketing consultant to forward-thinking brands. And today I wanted to speak a little bit more into something I created a post on that's gone out today, if you listen to this live, because I think it could get misinterpreted, and also like word count, I couldn't say everything I wanted to say. So this is relevant whether you are a service-based business or a product-based business. And that is, we should love our clients. And this is really what soulmate clients, soulmate customers is all about. It's about having people in your world that you're absolutely obsessed with, that you absolutely love. So the reason this post came up, I was going to write about it today on Instagram, and then I thought, let's talk about this on the podcast, is within 1 week, I recognized that all of the following had happened. So I'd had a client that was arranging a in-person retreat up in Manchester. And I'm like, I want to be at that retreat. I want to see her in her like fire, in her light. I want to see her I want to be in that real energy. You know, we spend so much time chatting each week on our calls and in Vox. I want to see her live. I had another client who had a podcast interview, and I was like, I want to dive straight in. And she was incredible, and I was so proud of her, just like listening from the very first second. I had another client who wanted to reschedule a call, and I was like, cool, how about 7 a.m. on Friday? It's like, who does 7 a.m. calls on a Friday? But like, I was so happy to just chat with her. I'm not suggesting anyone does 7 a.m. calls. It works for me because I'm up early with my child, and it was a time I was free. But anyway, in this post, I list these different examples of things that had happened. And I said, you know, we should get excited when a client voxes us. We should get excited about having our calls. By the way, I'm going to talk about product-based businesses soon. So please don't think this is only going to be about like coaches and healers and mystics and therapists and things. Like, I'm going to come on to product-based. We should do. And from experience, I know we don't always. Like, I've worked with clients in the past where I've seen the notification come up that they've messaged on Voxer, and I've just been like, if you're not watching this on YouTube, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the face. It's like, you almost don't want to read it because like their energy is like draining on you. And that's a sign they're not a soul aligned client. And this doesn't mean that you don't get to have days when you feel under the weather, or, you know, you may have your bleed and you may just want to like be in your cave, and you may not be that outgoing. But even in those times, your client shouldn't feel like a drain and a drag. You know, you could have boundaries in place where you're like, I don't respond to Voxes on the first day of my bleed. I know people that do that. It's not something that I do, but I know people that do that. And, you know, you could have certain boundaries in place like that. You know, I have boundaries in place of, I only respond on Voxer 5 days a week, and that's between office hours, 9 till 5. And, you know, I may well jump in on the weekend. I may jump in the evening, but the boundary is it's Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. And that's my boundary. But if someone messages me during those times, I will be wanting to listen to their messages and respond. If you don't want to listen to clients' messages and respond, it's a sign they're just not a soul aligned client. And the reason this is important, why I'm laboring this point, is I imagine, set up your business, obviously, because you had a bigger why. We're going to talk about like the why behind business and actually creating a soul aligned business as well. But I've got ahead of myself. I want to talk about this today. You did this because you wanted to run your own business and really enjoy the work you do and be lit up and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, have freedom and work-life balance, all the different things, I'm sure. But you want to be happy with who you're working with. You want to be happy in the work that you're doing. And for that, I really think we need to be calling in soul-aligned clients. And what happens is, if we're feeling a bit ick, it means something's out of alignment. It means there's something wrong with your expectations, your self-worth, who you are willing to accept. And this doesn't mean that you're on a pedestal and you're better than them and they're not good enough for you. This is not about that at all. What I actually said in the post as well is, if they're not your soul aligned client, if you don't get excited when they vox you, when you've got a call coming up, say no to them, because they're somebody else's soul aligned client. So this is all about energetics and an alignment that way. Nothing to do with pedestals, nothing to do with someone being better than each other. It's not about that at all. It means that if you aren't like vibing with them perfectly, then they will vibe with someone else better. and you should like let them go to allow them to, have that beautiful relationship that, you also desire, I anticipate. And this goes as well, like if you've got a coach that you don't feel is obsessed with you, who you don't feel, who leaves it 48 hours before they respond to your messages, even though they've said, well, these are the days you can message me, this is the container, and then they're not coming back to you. If they're not like obsessed with you, if they don't seem like lit up and you don't come off your calls like energized and inspired, I also suggest you find yourself another coach as well. Because again, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that person, but like the energy must be off if these things are happening. So yeah, so just sort of gather my thoughts as well, again, because I go off on tangents. So yeah, getting clients that are aligned. So it's about like getting clear on your boundaries, your expectations of who, the kind of person that you want to bring in. It's about having a really great application process. So whether that's an application form, whether it's a call, like however you want to play it, whatever works for you, like making sure you have a really great application process, making sure you're not trying to sell. Like that is something that's been really transformational for me. I'm not available for selling. I'm never in a convincing energy. If people want to work with me, they want to work with me. They love my energy. They've already sold. They're like just trying to manifest the money, or they're trying to manifest me saying yes to them. Like that's the energy. It's like people that are like, no, I just want to work with you. When can we start? I'm never trying to sell. I'm not available for selling. If I'm selling to somebody, if I've got someone that's like questioning prices or, wanting a discount or like asking me a load of questions, it's like, you're not going to be a soul aligned client. If you don't know, like I welcome you to go out and look for somebody else, like go butterfly, go fly away, go find the right person for you, because I'm not that person. Like if you don't know, then it's not right for you. Obviously follow your human design authority. That could be like a splenic reaction, that could be a sacral reaction, but it could be, like me, emotional authority, ride that wave. But yeah, you should just know. So yeah, that was this point. So if you don't feel like all of these vibes, like, sorry, I've got some more examples. So yeah, I had another client who's like going on holiday near me, and I'm like, can we meet up for a coffee? Like, you're coming up north, can we meet for a coffee? So yeah, these sorts of vibes, like you should really love working with them. And same if you're a product-based business. So if you find that all of your clients, like, I'm wondering how to word this, but basically you feel like they're a bit of a pain in the bum. It's like, oh, when they message me, like it feels heavy, like, well, just one is like, they're finding issues with XYZ. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you or your product or your service or anything like that. It just means you're not calling in the right soul aligned clients that love the product, the service, the price, so something's out of alignment somewhere. So it's about getting really clear who your soul aligned client is, and then creating things for them and making sure it's positioned the right way. So if you're getting clients in that, like I say, that just feel like they're a bit of a pain in the bum, these customers, what's off in the marketing, what's off in the website, what's off with the product, what's off with the price, like what is it that's out of alignment? Then this comes for both product or service based. If making it the cheap, like raising your prices could actually raise the standard of who's coming in, and actually get rid of those people who are kind of like nitpicking on little things as well. Not to say that would be the reason, but that's just one thing to think about. Are you pricing your product too cheap? Are you just getting like bargain hunters in, for example, in inverted commas, and your product is like made with love and it's got like a real story behind it. Your why is like really strong and you've got a real desire for it to change people's lives in a certain way, and you're just getting people coming in because it's a cheap product, and actually they're not seeing that. So, for example, you could have a journal. You could have a journal as a physical product, and, it costs you XYZ to make. There's all these different hours. It's got all these really transformational things in them. It has like daily manifestation practices, whatever it has in it. And when you create, you think, this is a £50 journal. I really want to sell it, on really great quality, like hardback book, like really beautiful. It's got, these gold trims around the edges, whatever it is. And it comes through and it's like, yeah, it's £50. And then you're like, but no one's going to pay £50 for a journal. So what I'll do is I'll cut back on it and I'll turn it into a £10 journal. and I'll launch it on an offer where they could buy one, get one half price. You see where I'm going with this? Like X, Y, Z, and like you dilute and dilute and dilute. And essentially you end up with a product that isn't in alignment with like your why. And then you're getting customers that aren't in alignment with what you desire for that product. And then these customers are finding faults with things that actually you're like, well, if I'd actually had my £50 product, that wouldn't have even been a thing anyway, because that's actually what I desired. That's what it came through as. I'm going to do another recording on pricing, actually. It's sort of come through as I'm talking, because I didn't want this to be about pricing, but it was just an example. If you're not going soul aligned customers, if you're not getting soul aligned clients, what's out of alignment? What do you need to do differently? And I want you to think about that. And the reason I also wanted to speak into this is when I said, like, I'm excited to speak to my clients, I want to jump in Voxer, I'm having this 7 a.m. call on a Friday. That's not to say that you should be doing that at all. Like I say, it was a one-off, you know, that's not going to be happening again. It worked in my diary that week. I was happy to move it. I really wanted to chat with her. She'd had some really exciting things going on and I wanted to speak to her, and she wasn't available on our usual call day. I didn't want her to miss a call. I wanted to speak to her. So I made that happen. But if that doesn't work for you, I'm not saying that your soul aligned clients mean you sacrifice yourself for them. That absolutely isn't it. Like, you still need to first and foremost have your own self-care, you know, making sure you have space for whatever your morning routine looks like, if you have one, or whatever your self-care routine is, your self-care practices throughout the day, making sure you do all that first. This isn't about sacrificing yourself for your clients. This is about clients lighting you up, energizing you, making you excited. That's kind of like, that's the message I want to land, because I know some people read that and be like, why are you doing 7 a.m. calls with your clients? And it's like, it felt good to me. It felt expansive. It felt exciting. That doesn't feel expansive, then don't. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the main points I want to say. I haven't got anything in front of me. I'm just like, yeah, just thinking, is there anything else I want to say before I wrap up this very mini recording? So I'll do this as well along the way. Sometimes I'll just do these really super mini episodes, and sometimes they'll be like longer solo episodes, and then obviously have the guest. So guests will be every other week. And then the ones from me, sometimes they'll be like 10 minutes. Sometimes they might be up to an hour. It just depends on what's coming through that wants to like get out onto the podcast. And that message, I'm not going to force that to be an hour long if it's a 10-minute message. I'm not going to force it to be 30 minutes if it's only 15 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It'll come through as it comes through. So I hope that like shifted something for you. I hope that's made you think a little bit like, oh yeah, what do I need to change? So get really clear on who your ideal client is. What is their problem? What transformation do you get for them? And what are they like? You know, do they love to talk? Are they in Voxer with you every single day asking you questions? Or do you want like clients that never ever get in touch with you? There's none of them's right or wrong. I love clients that chat, you know, like one of my mentors was like, she doesn't want clients that jump in Voxer. She wants, in her, you know, inverted commas, self-leaders that just get on with it. But actually, I love my clients coming to talk to me. It doesn't mean that she's wrong and I'm right. It just means we're like different. Like, you know, you're probably guessing I'm like to chat now. So yeah, do you want them in Voxer all the time? Do you not? Do you want them taking advantage of their weekly calls? Do you only want to see them every 2 weeks? Like, do you want to hear about their personal life, or do you just want them to keep things to like whatever it is they're coming to you for? You know, again, I love to know everything about my clients. Like, my clients become all my best friends. That's why I'm like, you coming up, let's go for a coffee, you know, you're getting married. Oh my God. I'm like, yeah, that was the other one thing that happened. It's like someone told me they got engaged and I'm like sat there manifesting the invite. I mean, she'll hear this now. So manifesting the invite to the wedding, like she better invite me to her wedding. You know, that's the kind of relationship I love to have with my clients, as well as it like being professional. And obviously there's boundaries and I'm there to like act as a mentor and coach and stuff, but that's the relationship I want. Other people don't want that. They want like, they come on their calls. I might hear them off them once in the week, but I really don't want to have to hear off them. I've got other stuff going on. Clients aren't my priority, which is fine, you know, and it's getting clear on what's right for you. So yeah, hope that made sense. Thank you so much for being here. If you love this message and you make a change, please like drop me a DM on Instagram, you know, tag me on your stories, let me know what shifted for you, because I really love to know that these conversations are valuable and they're helping to make change in your life. And if you need any support, as always, reach out, just drop me a DM and like ask what different ways I can support you. There's so many different ways, from like one hour 1 hour business intensive, 6-month program, a VIP days. There's so many different ways I can support you depending on your budget. So yeah, sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.